Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night UHF Net. My name is John and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
W8VPV. Repeater.
This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I will take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until we're done, or until the number of check-ins goes below 5. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been worked, I will close the net. After repeating the announcements and giving one last call for check-ins. We also operate a band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and equipment. This evening, the band exploration net will be on 10 meters on 28.360 megahertz. Here are the announcements. Next Wednesday, that's Wednesday of next week, February 22nd, there will be a presentation by Greg Letta, AA8V, about radio astronomy. Now, he lives in Frostburg, Maryland, but he's going to come to our meeting in person, and he'll have some of the equipment with him. On March 8th, at our business meeting, there will also be a presentation by Kilo 8 Zulu Tango, Anthony, and it will be about the 10-meter band and how it is coming up in performance due to the sunspot cycle. The day after our meeting with Greg Latta and, wait a minute. Those two meetings, February 22nd and March 8th, will be at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ on 130 Broad Boulevard. You get to the parking lot by taking 2nd Street south off of Broad Boulevard. And there's another meeting on February 23rd, in addition to the volunteer exam session, which is at 6:30, which you need to pre-register for. Go to www.cfarc.org, click on the Education tab, and sign up for that. You need to have your FRN to go to the to take the test. And on that same day, at 7 p.m., is the Summit Aries meeting. Now, at that meeting, we will be installing installing it and testing FLDigi on laptops that we take with us. To find out what files you have to load in, go to www.summitaries.org. Summit Aries is one word. And then click on Meetings and click on the local meeting, and you'll see the meetings. And so look at the February 23rd meeting, and it says FLDigi Test and Tune-Up Night. Bring your laptop loaded with the latest versions of, and they have on there what they are. I'll mention them here, but you can see them there, what you have to download. Okay, the files that you need to download are FLDigi/FLARQ. The next file is F1MSG. The next file is F1AMP. The next file is F1WRAP. And they can be downloaded from www.w1hkj.com. And like I said, you can see all that under the info for that February 23rd meeting. And soon we will be having an officers and trustees meeting, and we will also be having a Hamfest committee meeting. So watch your mailboxes for announcements for those meetings. Also, this Saturday evening from 8 to 11 p.m. is the Breeze Shooters 10-meter ground wave contest, and it has three versions. So this one this Saturday is CW, and then let's see here, and then on what is it, March? Net standby. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with WO3X. Name here is John at the mic. Okay, back to that Breeze Shooters 10-meter ground wave contest. It runs from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturdays, certain Saturdays. Okay, so February 18th is the CW version. March 4th is the phone version, and then March 11th is the digital version. I usually run PSK 31 for the digital version. Now, where I am is Grid Square 8, and Aurora and Twinsburg and those along there are on the southern edge of Grid Square 1. So that gives you an idea of that grid square. You can go to www.breezeshooters.com. Or just put Breeze Shooters in Google, and it'll tell you what the website is for that contest.
W8 V. Repeater.
Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins from any officer or member who has information for the net. Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Let me acknowledge each one at a time.
November 8, Oscar Quebec Papa, Pat Akron.
880QP, Pat, I have you. Another check-in, please.
WA3JAT.
WA3JAT, I have you. Another check-in, please.
K8HMS.
K8HMS, I have you. Another check-in, please.
K8PU.
K8PU, I have you, Larry. And one more.
Coventry.
Okay, we had a pile-up there, but I heard Coventry, so that is AB8OU, Zeke. Okay, let's go up to Pat, N80QP. Go ahead, Pat.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good Monday evening after a well-contested Super Bowl. Don't really have a whole lot tonight. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody for the coming to the meeting the other night. It was great to see you all. Also, great presentation by Frank about the repeater and connections and stuff like that. Really good presentation. Did appreciate it, and hope everybody got as much as I did out of it. There was 2 or 3 things that I actually learned from it. So that's a pretty good deal. I think that's about it, John. I'll be the net control on 10 meters tonight, so hope to see everybody there. N80QP back to net.
Okay, Pat, sounds good. Thanks for checking in, and we'll talk with you on 10 meters later. Okay, next is Jim, WA3JAT. Go ahead, Jim, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
WA3JAT, calling W8VPV. Good evening to everybody. I hope everyone will be able to make our next activity meeting with Greg Latta and his radio telescope. And thank you again, as Pat did, for many of you who came to the presentation by Frank on our repeater at the last. And that will kind of be a continuing subject as far as the repeater. That really is, Frank's program is just the starting point of that. We need volunteers to help, and we need ideas as to what you'd like to do with our repeater. As far as operating, had a lot of fun in the last few days. Anthony, K8ZT, and myself were both trying to work FT8WW. He had been on the air and then went off the air and then got a permit to come on again. And Anthony and I were both successful in working him on 20 meters yesterday, but it took quite an effort, a couple hours of calling. Back to you, John, at W8VPV, WA3JAT.
Congratulations on making your contact with FT8WW. I heard that they were having some difficulty. So very good. You got them when they came back on. Very good. Thanks for checking in. 73, and maybe we'll hear you on 10 meters. Okay, that takes us to Steve, K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
WAVPV in the net, K8HMS. Yeah, good evening, John. Good evening, everybody. Good to hear you all. Not much going on. Wife and I have been a little under the weather here the last couple days, but hanging in there. So just enjoying that sunshine and everything out there. Boy, that'd be nice if this hangs on for the duration of the winter. And yeah, and other than that, haven't been doing much operating or anything. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't, I mean, I don't do FT8, but I just wonder, I hadn't seen or heard what FT8WW was. Just kind of curious what that is or was or something. Anyway, I guess that's about it, and I guess the other net will be on 10 meters, so I don't think you announced that, John. Back to you, Kate HMS.
Okay, Steve, the net will be on 28.360, and FT8WW is the call sign of a de-expedition. On QRZ it says that it is Possession Island and Crozet Island. So let's see here. Yeah, that is, and the website is FT8WW. So if you want to make contact with that de-expedition, go to that website, FT8WW. Okay, very good. Thanks for checking in, Steve, and I'll be listening for you on 10 meters. Pad N8OQP will be the net control station.
Hey, sounds good, John. Thank you. Yeah, somehow I missed that because I check, the spotting stuff all the time and just didn't happen to see it. So, okay, thanks for the info.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Let's see. So the next one is Larry, K8PU. Go ahead, Larry, with your comments. And if you have your curtains open on the street side of the house, you might hit 80 degrees, and maybe it'll be sunny also.
Good evening, John. Everybody on the net. Didn't open the curtains in that direction. I looked over at the temperature gauge, and you said that. Thought it said 73, but it actually says 37. But it was a nice day. KW and I went down to the park this afternoon and had a little snack down there and enjoyed the weather. It's a beautiful day for February. Look at the long-range temperatures to go through the end of the month. I don't see how we're going to have any snowstorm or any snow to speak of, because it's just going to be too warm. And we're just skating this winter, it looks like. Nobody more happy about it than me. That snow machine can go out there and rest away if it wants to. Okay, John, catch Pat and all of you guys on 10 meters at 9:30, so back to you, W8VPV, K8PU.
Okay, Larry. Yeah, well, I hope it doesn't snow for the weekend of 25th and 26th of February, because I'm planning to go to the Wash Fest, WASH Fest, there in western Pennsylvania on the 26th. Okay, so thanks for checking in, and we'll hear you on 10 meters later. Okay, that takes us to Zeke, AB8OU. Go ahead, Zeke, with your comments.
W8VPV. Repeater. PL110.9.
AB8OU. Good evening, John and everyone. Not much here. I played a bit in the WPX Riddick contest over the weekend. Big throw was I finally got a W1AW stroke 4 Georgia. Hadn't heard one all week, and thought I wasn't going to get one, but Sunday night one popped up. So that means I'm current with the states. Wonder why W1AW/4 from Georgia has been so scarce. It's the only time I've seen a spot on it. Anyway, that's about it for me. Talk with everyone later. AB8OU.
Okay, very good, Zeke. Congratulations on getting W1AW/4. Very good. Okay, 73, and maybe we'll hear you on 10 meters there. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic, asking for check-ins, and that one that doubled with Zeke there earlier. Come on back first.
W8DIS.
W8DIS. Are you in or in and out, Bill?
No, I'm here for the evening. Nothing much to talk about, but when you come to me, I'll talk.
Okay, Bill, very good. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
And I'm in.
Okay, somebody started, but WB8CXO, Mike, covered you right over, so whoever that was, come on back.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Golf, Brian in Norton.
KFAG, Brian, okay, and I heard you say that you're in, thanks. Okay, another check-in, please.
Kilo Echo 8, Victor Quebec X-Ray, Joe, Akron.
November 8, Whiskey Hotel Romeo, Mike in Brunswick, no traffic, in and out.
Okay, I got KE8VQX, Joe, and I got N8WHR, in and out. Let's see, okay, one more since we had an in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Uniform Lima Alpha, Jim in Stowe.
AEAULA, Jim in Stowe. Okay, great, thanks. Okay, so let's go back up to Bill, W8DIS. Go ahead, Bill, with your comments.
Thanks, John. Good to hear you on the air. I said that, was in, but don't really have much to say, just to say hi and add one of the numbers, and hope everybody's enjoying this very unusual February weather. It's warmer than usual, and I think we're all loving it. So, going to be doing some traveling later this week, so won't be around for anything that's planned, but I'll be here this weekend. Hoping everybody's doing well, and 73 W8DIS back to net.
Okay, Bill, very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Let's see, next was Mike, WB8CXO. Go ahead, Mike, with your comments. Okay, Mike. Yeah, those beacon nets. There's one on late Sunday and another one late Wednesday evenings. I forget the starting time. It's at least 9 o'clock or later. And they are both on the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association 2-meter repeater, which is 147.390 megahertz. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Let's see. So next is Brian, KFAG. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, that beacon net's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it is Wednesday night and Sunday night. The official net starts at 10 o'clock, and they do kind of a pre-check-in thing. It starts officially 9:30, but I've checked in at 9:15 before, as soon as Nick's on it. K8 TLS, or the KD8 TLS. I can't remember his call sign right now. But that's a fun net. I like listening to that when I get the chance. Kind of late for me because I'm usually up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but yeah, when I get the chance, I listen. But well, things are going well. Dad's getting his new bathroom tomorrow, and I get mine Wednesday, so he's busy at the houses the next couple of days. He had a doctor's appointment. It seems to be doing okay. A little low on energy right now, but he's hanging in there. But well, not much else going on. I'll catch you Sunday if I don't hear you Tuesday on the Saranet. Good evening, John, WO3X, KFAG.
Yeah, fine business, Brian. You know what happened during the 6-meter net yesterday? My radio, when I would transmit, it was okay at the beginning, but then all of a sudden it developed a problem, which when I would transmit, I heard hum in my headset, and the pilot light on the meter went dim, but it's still put out. But here what it was, the fuse on the ground side of the power cord, the DC power cord, is defective in one of the end caps. So, that's why changing the power supply didn't fix the problem. So that's the second time that I've had a problem with a fuse having a defect in the end cap. Now, this may be the original fuse, and this is an IC756PRO, no Roman numerals after it, so it lasted pretty long, but that's what the problem was there. Over.
W8V.
Oh, okay. Well, if you need it, I've got an Alinco 6-meter. I'll have to check the programming on it. I'll get with Dell and see how it's programmed, but if you need it, you can use that.
Oh, no, I have two others, two other radios that can do 6 meters, but it kind of surprised me, during the net that it did that. So apparently I was sounding okay, and enough power to make it into the repeater. So, but that's what happened. I fixed that after the net.
Okay, yeah, you were asking about the hum, and yeah, just the normal repeater hum was all I was hearing. Well, it looks like DMR in the Ohio channel is busy. Like, little dingus has been blinking like mad. All right, catch you later, John, and we'll see you Sunday. KFAG.
Hey, Brian, very good. Thanks. 7-3, and have a good evening. And I'll hear you Wednesday. I'll run NetLogger as the logger. Okay, so that takes us to Joe, KE8VQX. Go ahead, Joe.
W8VPV, this is KE8VQX. Hello, John, and everybody else on the net. Was working over the weekend, flying airplanes, so I was unable to partake in the general class. Look forward to looking at that stuff. Should have been studying that stuff today, but instead I played radio. Got some 10 meters in, and then dabbled in some C4FM and some APRS, which is kind of new to me, and really interesting. So anyway, that's about all I got. Hope everyone has a nice evening. I wish I could join you on the 10-meter net, but I got to hit the sack. So anyway, with that, back to you, John, KE8VQX.
Okay, very good, Joe. Thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening, and maybe we'll hear you next week. Okay, so let's see. NAWHR, Mike in Brunswick, was in and out, so that takes us to Jim, KE8ULA. Go ahead, Jim, with your comments.
Thanks. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Not much going on here today, just recovering from that Super Bowl party yesterday. Hi. Yeah, that was a really good game yesterday. I could have done without the halftime show, but the game was really good. So zoomed into the Wednesday's meeting. Great presentation from Frank on the repeater, a little bit of club history. Being new, I learned an awful lot from that meeting. Got an appreciation too for just how much effort goes into that equipment, maintaining the equipment, keeping that thing tuned up, keeping it functioning properly. So yeah, really great presentation from Frank Wednesday. So with that, back to the net, KE8ULA.
Okay, Joe. Yeah, very good. The meetings that I announced are also on Zoom. So go to www.cfarc.org. Go on the calendar there on the right and scroll down to the meeting, and the Zoom link is there. So very good. Sounds like you successfully watched that meeting on Zoom. Okay, very good. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking for check-ins.
45 miles away, and we've been doing C4 FM simplex.
This is KE8 KVI, just one for the numbers, in and out.
Okay, Ron, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in. Have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
WA8WFX.
WA8WFX. I have you, Floyd. Another one.
KA8WTK.
KA8WTK. I have you, Bill. Another one, please.
We'll see whenever I get closer to whenever I'm a couple years older.
KE8TQR, Kilo Echo 8, Tango, Quebec, Romeo.
Was that KE8TQR?
Kilo Echo 8, Tango, Quebec, Romeo.
Ministry is always a good thing.
Okay, thanks. We'll get back with you in a moment. Another check-in, please. Okay, we'll take, let's see, Ron was in and out, so go ahead, Floyd, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
W8VPV, this is WA8WFX. Thank you. Just wanted to pop in and say hello to everybody. Missed the net a couple of weeks here. January was kind of a rough month because my wife, Jan's mother, was in and out of the hospital and then passed away at the beginning of the month here. We had the funeral last Wednesday. So things are getting semi back to normal around here. Everybody's doing fine, and we'll hope to see everybody around. I was going to tell Ron I'm kicking back, enjoying a good beer, and maybe he's got some bourbon on his table there. But anyway, nice to talk to everybody and hear what's going on. I'm sorry I missed Frank's presentation. I really would have liked to seen that. I hope that it's recorded and I can pick it up somewhere. Back to you, W8VPV, WA8WFX.
Okay, Floyd. We send our condolences on the death in the family there, and maybe he is enjoying some bourbon there, which sounds like one of his favorites. Okay, so 73. Have a good evening, and maybe we'll hear you next week, or maybe on 10 meters this evening. Okay, so that takes us to Bill, KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill, with your comments.
W8VPV, KA8WTK, Bill in Talmadge. Good evening, John, and everybody on the net. I would be curious. I couldn't Zoom that night for Frank's presentation. It'd be nice if that was recorded and could be seen on the web. Anyway, not much going on here. I'm playing with some laser beam sensors and laser dot generators, making some brake beam indicators, hopefully for the railroad. Programming a little Raspberry Pi W, which is going to be interesting. It has to be headless, meaning it won't have a screen, it won't have a keyboard, it won't have a mouse. It'll run from a lithium battery. You just turn it on and it's got to do what it's got to do. So my next point of contention here is to get it run on the servo the way it should. So it keeps your mind active. That's about all that's going on here. So one thing, break for time. Over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I went up to Norse Fest. I bought one of these little slingshot launchers. I forget what the brand name is for putting antenna ropes up into trees and whatnot. I had a chance to use it this afternoon. I'm really amazed. The darn thing, the second shot, the darn thing went right over the limb I wanted and pulled a rope up, pulled up the end of an antenna. So now that 160-meter antenna has got its rope up in a tree, and the deer better not knock the tree over the way they were breaking the ropes and knocking the other support over. So hopefully it'll work out better. That's about it. W8VPV, KA8WTK.
W8VPV. Repeater.
Sounds good, Bill. You're making progress. Very good. Okay, 73, and have a good evening, and we'll probably hear you on 10 meters there. Pad N80QP will be the net control station for that. Okay, so that takes us to Keith, KE8TQR. Go ahead, Keith, with your comments.
Well, good evening, everybody on the net. This is KE8TQR, Keith. I actually heard my name mentioned here a little bit ago. WB8CXO, Mike had mentioned it when we were talking on 220 about the Beacon Net. Just a little clarification. Yes, the Beacon Net is every Sunday and Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Pre-check is at 9:30 with Nick, 88SLG. And if you're up at 7 o'clock in the morning, they also have the barometer net on the same frequency, the Big 39, if you want to get on that. But if also you have NetLogger, they do use that, so that'll help out. Anyway, sorry if I just made a commercial, and I shouldn't have, but not much more traffic. And just wanted to say hi to everybody and get my number there on the net. I did a couple nets today, so I'm doing a little bit better. So anyway, back to net control. This is KE8TQR 73 all.
Okay, Keith. No, that's what this net's all about, spreading the information around there. So thanks for that. Okay, for that clarification on the Beacon net, starting at 10 o'clock with pre-net check-ins. And very good. And like I said, that's on the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association 2-meter repeater on 147.390 megahertz. Okay, very good. So have a good evening there, Keith, and maybe we'll hear you next week. And maybe on the 2-meter net there tomorrow evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Kilo Echo 8 Whiskey Golf Delta, Greg in Cuyahoga Falls, in and out.
NAYRX, Buck and Green.
Okay, we have Greg in and out, and we have N8YRX, Buck in Green. Any other check-ins before we go back to Buck? Okay, there's somebody trying. You're holding the repeater, but your signal can't be heard above the noise. Give it another try there. Maybe you can increase your power or your elevation. Go ahead. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, not hearing you. Are there any other check-ins for the Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor VHF UHF net? Well, I can tell that somebody's there, but I can't pull it out at all above the noise. Let's see. Go ahead, give it another try. Maybe you can move around a little bit or something if you're on a handheld to maybe improve the output or into the repeater here. Okay, I guess not. Okay, Buck, N8YRX, go ahead with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Okay, John. Well, good evening to you and everybody else listening. I just wanted to say, John, that last week you gave me a chuckle there when I tried to check in, and I just wanted to set the record straight. When I was the guy that doubled with somebody on one round, and I can't remember who was the net control right now, but anyway, he started asking about YL, and I thought he just didn't hear all of my call because I knew I doubled with somebody. I thought he heard the Y, but maybe, just didn't hear it right. And I never gave it any thought until you came in there and said, well, maybe this person doesn't know what a YL is. And then it came to me, and my gosh, I was misunderstanding what he meant. So anyway, just to set the record straight, I do know what a YL is, even though I haven't had one for a long, long time, but I do have an XYL. So I just thought I'd throw that in there for you, John. Back to you from N8YRX.
Yeah, Buck, yeah, that was funny. Yeah, because, well, I figured that you knew, but maybe you thought that they heard YL when you gave your call. That was Gary, AAHCS. But then when the YL didn't come back, that's why I made the comment about not knowing what a YL is. Over.
Oh, I got you, all right. Yeah, but it was just funny at the time because until you said it, I was still thinking of him missing the call, I mean, it was just one of those dumb misunderstandings. But anyway, it was good for a laugh, so
So I guess it was worth it. Have a good week, everybody. NEYRX.
Yeah, very good, Buck. Yeah, I'll hear you tomorrow on the 80 meters Aries net there. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Yeah, that was funny. Okay, let's see. So that takes us to the bottom of the list. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. I'll repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. Okay, Wednesday of next week, that's February 22nd, at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ in Cuyahoga Falls on 130 Broad Boulevard. Get to the parking lot by going south of Broad Boulevard on 2nd Street, is the presentation by Greg Latta, Alpha 8 Victor. That's Alpha 8 Victor. It's going to be on radio astronomy, and he is going to come in person from Frostburg, Maryland, and he's going to bring some of his equipment with him. Again, that's at 7:30 p.m., and it's also on Zoom. Go to www.cfarc.org, go to the calendar, and scroll down, and you can find the February 22nd meeting and watch it on, actually participate on Zoom.
W8VPV. Repeater. PL110.9.
Then on March 8th is a presentation during our business meeting, which our business meetings are going to be a different format now. They won't be so long, so we'll have time for presentations too. So there'll be a presentation by Anthony, Kilo 8 Zulu Tango, about 10 meters, especially since it has come back up due to the sunspot cycle. So that will be fun. Then Thursday of next week is the Summit Aries meeting, and they are going to have a FL Digi tune-up on our laptops. So go to the website to find out what files you need to download before the meeting, and it tells you where to get them. So you go to www.summitares.org. That's summitaries.org. Summit Aries is one word. And then click on calendars, and then click on local calendars and look at the February 23rd meeting, and over in the far right column it tells you what files to download and where to get them. And that meeting is at the American Red Cross building at 501 West Market Street. That meeting starts at 7 o'clock on February 23rd. Then this Saturday evening, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., is the Breeze Shooters 10-meter ground wave contest, and this Saturday is the CW version of it. And so I will be trying to make at least one contact. I am in grid square 8. That is a 49 square 49 grid square contest with Pittsburgh being in grid square 25, which is right in the center of it. So, and then above us is Cleveland, that's grid square 1. Grid square 1 includes Twinsburg and Aurora also, and Macedonia. And grid square 8 goes as far south as Hartville and Uniontown, and as far west as Barberton. So that gives you an idea of the area around here. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 18 check-ins counting myself and return the repeater to normal, customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:23 p.m. local time. Hope to hear you on the 10-meter net, which starts at 9:30 p.m. on 28.360 megahertz. This is WO3X clear.
I didn't hear how many you had.
18. Very good. WO3X clear.
Port. Link off. W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater.
one for Anthony. I could have swore he said he was going to be in there on the 8th. But I stand corrected. That's fine. Anything else for that tonight?
No, other than that, I have a short story. I'll try and tell it quickly. This afternoon, I know a lot of you heard Anthony and I talking. We're kind of both trying to do as well as we can in this DX marathon that CQ Magazine has, and basically it's like DXCC, except you start at 0 on January 1st and try to see how many stations you can work over the entire year. And we're both up in the 140s for countries we worked this year. But I had a station, I needed Greenland, and I heard him on FT8. Well, I had worked this station before, and as you know, on FT8, it tells you when you've worked it before. And he wasn't coming back to me when I was calling him, and I thought maybe that was why. So I sent him an email telling him that I did need to work him in 2023, even though I'd worked him last year on that band for this CQDX marathon. Well, about he didn't come back to my email either, and still didn't work me on the FT8. So I had to go pick up my grandson at school and came back, and about an hour and a half later, I see that he did email me back after about an hour and wanted to know if I was still there, which I wasn't. And so I emailed him back again and waited, and it took about another hour before he saw my email and came back, and we made an arrangement to get on the phone and ended up on 10-meter phone at, let's see what time it was, 23:04 GMT. I did work him OX3LX.
Making joke spears and hoping to one another.
I got the contact I needed for the DX Marathon contest, but it does show how great ham radio is that you have people around the world always looking to help each other out. W8VPV, WA3JAT.
That's a cool story, Jim. Thanks for sharing it. Sometimes you got to go to great lengths to get that contact. All right, with that, is there any other announcements or anybody, any officers with announcements they'd like to get out before we start this up? If there is, please call W8VPV. Okay, hearing nothing, let's go ahead and open it up for general check-in. If you'd like to check into our nets, please call.
W8VPV, this is WO3X.
Okay, WO3X, got you, John. Anybody else? AB8OU. Okay, got N8YRX, Buck. All right, there's 3. Okay. Anybody else, please? WB8CXO. Good evening, Mike. Get to you here in a second. IKE. All right, that's 4. One more. Let's see if we can fill this out. Okay, let's go back to the top here. Then I'm not hearing anything. WO3X. Good evening, John. What's up, sir?
Yeah, good evening, Pat, and all on the net. This is WO3X. I thought Anthony's thing was going to be March 8th also. So, okay, well, because I was saying that, we'd be doing the new format for the business meetings, and so we would have time for presentation also. Okay, so, I have a good copy on you here, and let's see, there was a silent key that happened last week. Dan, N8DLD, is now a silent key. He was in a rehab facility, and he was improving, and then suddenly he had a vascular problem, and so they were going to move him back to the hospital or something, but he didn't make it. So that happened either Thursday or Friday, so he won't be checking into our nets anymore, so that's too bad. So with that, back to you, W8VPV. This is WO3X.
Oh God, I'm speechless. Oh man, that's just so sad. That dude was we used to talk on when 2-4 was up. We used to talk there almost about every night. How sad. Anyway, thanks for letting me know, John. I do appreciate that. Kind of sad. Let's move it on to AB8OU. Good evening, Zeke. What you got going?
AB8OU. Good evening, Pat and everyone. Not much. I've been fighting network problems all weekend. I thought I had it fixed, but today they all reappeared, driving me up the wall. Other than that, have the new W1AW portables coming on Tuesday night at 7, which is Wednesday at 0000 Zulu. And other than that, not much. Out to Hartville for dinner. I've got a piece of pie in the refrigerator waiting for me as soon as I have room. Back to you, Pat, AB8OU.
Okay, Zeke, go enjoy that pie. That sounds like a winner. We just had a donut and a glass of milk ourselves. I kind of am. I love those Eneman donuts, and the wife got me a glass of milk and a donut for my little snack here. We'll take that. Anyway, have a good evening, and thanks for checking in with us. And that brings us down to Mr. YRX. Mr. Buck, what's up? All right, Buck, have a good evening. We will hopefully we'll catch you up on 220 here sooner or later. Have a good night. Always good to hear from you. As far as the question, let me see if O3X is out there still. John, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I was on the Gap Titan because it's omnidirectional, but omnidirectional poor in all directions. So right now I have my beam pointed toward Buck there, so he ought to be able to copy me pretty good now. This is WO3X.
There you go, case closed. Yeah, you're a little stronger even here, John. You were right at a 9 here a little bit ago. Now you were peaking about a 10 overs. Not too bad. Let's move this on and see what else comes up here. Mr. CXO. Good evening, Mike. WB8CXO from W8VPV. Okay, Mike, and HMS, I heard you. Hang on just a second. Okay, Mike, I did hear your exploits about 40 meters there. Sounds like you ran into quite a young lady, but hopefully... I'm going to go... I heard most of what you said, but it was a little iffy here and there. So that's typical for this band, but I heard most of what you said there. I hopefully will catch you on the 220 band here shortly or whenever. Maybe we can talk there a little bit. Have a good evening, sir. And let's move it on to HMS. K8HMS from WAVPV. Good evening, Steve. What's up?
Go ahead, Steve.
I think he got tired of waiting. Anybody hear him?
K8HMS, go ahead.
We'll go ahead and check him in anyway. All right, that brings us to the bottom of the list here anyway. So if there's anybody else that wants to check in tonight for tonight's HF Net, please call W8BPV now.
KA8WTK.
Oh man, my ears are bleeding. KA8WTK. Good evening, Bill. Hang on a second. Let me see if anyone else is out there. Anybody else want to check in?
K8PU.
K8PU. Good evening, Larry. RRY. Anybody else? Okay, let's double back up to Bill. K8WTK. Good evening, sir, from W8BPV.
Yeah, W8BPV, KA8WTK. Good evening, Pat. I did ask on 2 meters if the Zoom meeting from Frank's presentation was recorded. Do you know if it was?
Well, let's put it this way. I hit the record button to put it on the web, but I don't remember seeing it finish when we finished. It's probably gonna. I have to get into the club Zoom to see if it actually did record or not. So at this point in time, I'd say there's a 50-50 chance. If it is, and I find out it is, I'll let you know and get you a link.
Yeah, because we used to post on the CFARC webpage under the members only, I think it was, the Zoom meeting, the presentations that were done in Zoom meetings, not business meetings, but the presentations that were done. And I didn't know if it would end up there or not, because that sounds like it was an excellent presentation, and I missed it. And sure like to know what's going on. Anywho, other than that, not much going on here. I think you heard I used one of those slingshot launchers today to get a line up over a tree limb, and doggone if that didn't work pretty good. So if anybody out there needs to use it, borrow it, wants me to bring it over, I'm available. It's a pretty neat piece. I shot it one time and it went too low. I pulled way back the second time and let her fly, and it not only went over the limb, it went 3 trees down the yard. It was it's really an amazing thing, but it works pretty slick, and it's not too bad to aim. And Entenmann's, I'm partial to their raspberry Danishes. Those are real good. Anyway, back to net. W8BPV, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill, thanks for the offer there, and glad it worked out well for you. Like I said, I'll see what I can find out and let you know. Have a good evening. K8PU. Good evening, Larry.
Good evening, Pat. Everybody on the net. Yeah, that was an excellent presentation. Frank, he sure puts a lot of work and effort into that. Like Mike said, recording everything and keeping track of it. That's going way above and beyond the duties of radio officer. Yeah, we're very fortunate to have Frank, that's for sure. It was good to see you at the meeting. Glad to see you able to get there and be back again. And it felt like things were getting more back to normal. But anyways, nothing new and exciting here. Sure happy with this weather. I don't think in all my 83 years, or as long as I can recall winters, other than the one I spent in Florida when compliments of the Marine Corps, that I've ever seen a winter this mild. But anyways, Pat, catch everybody back here same time, same station next week, I guess. And everybody have a good one. Back to you. W8BPV, KTU.
All right, Larry. Always good to hear you, sir. Hopefully, we'll see what happens in the future. As far as the weather goes, once you get past about the 15th of February, I'm not saying it ain't going to snow at all, but you're past the dead part of winter, so things are going to go nowhere but up from here on in. Hopefully we'll have an early spring. I remember springs where I never wore a jacket after the 1st of April, and if I remember rightly, that year actually started to warm like this. I guess we'll see. Anyway, that's all the check-ins I've got for at this moment in time. Let's see if there's anybody else out there. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Anybody else want to check in before we do a wrap? Please call WAPPV. WAPPV looking for check-ins. Call out, please. Okay, hearing nothing, I'm going to go ahead and read the announcements or repeat the announcements. Our next meeting coming up on the 22nd will be Greg Glada. That'll be our activity meeting. He will be talking about, I believe it's radio telescopes, and how you can actually tinker around in that. The meeting in March, the fourth weekend or the fourth Wednesday of March, will actually be Anthony KZT talking about the 10 meters. We will probably have something the 8th of March, but we're not sure what that's going to be yet. We do have a VE session coming up, I believe the 23rd of February. If you are looking to take a license test, the information for that is on CFARC.org, cpark.org, and get information about it, whatever. That's about all the announcements I've got. I'll go ahead and do one last round of check-ins. If there's not anybody out there, then we'll go ahead and close it up. If you'd like to check in, please call. Okay, hearing nothing, I'm going to, in preparing to close this net, I'd like to thank all of you that checked in tonight and took the time to join us. Without your participation, there would be no net. Cause is, this has been N8OQP, Pat, and it's been my pleasure to run this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with, looks like 9 check-ins, and return this frequency to normal and customary amateur use. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at exactly 10 p.m. local time, and we will see everybody next week. 7-3 all, N8O QP Clear.